Welcome back to this next video of the FHQ video series on the KNX IP BAOS 777. In this video we take a look at how we can implement dimmable light within the visualization of the BAOS. So I am back here in the EDS6 and here I have already added a dimmer into this example project, and now we take a look at how we can activate dimmable light within the BAOS. Therefore, I first of all switch over to the parameters, and there I go in the living room where we have already implemented a lighting function. Now, therefore, the next function that I want to activate is this function 1.2, and here I can now differentiate between dimming control with state on off, and dimming control with state in %. So this first option means that we simply can dim the light but don't get a feedback of the dimmer. The second option is with a feedback, but here only with the feedback that the light is turned on or turned off. And the last option here with state in %, well, that means that we can directly see in % on which level the light is dimmed to. Therefore, in this example, I want to use this option here with state. Now that I have added this function here, I can rename it, for example, lighting spots. And with that, we have already set up the parameters within the BAOS. If we now take a look at the group objects, we can see that for this new function here, lighting spots, we now got a group object on off, relative, and the value state. And if we take a look at the dimmer, which I have already set up accordingly to that, we can also see the same group objects. Here we have on off, the relative dimming, and the state value. Bear in mind, if you have previously set dimming control with state on off, well, then you would use this feedback group object here. And now we can simply drag and drop the group objects into their according group addresses. Therefore, I open up the group addresses and I have already created the necessary middle groups, but I now quickly add the group address itself. Now that I have created the necessary group addresses, I can hook them up to their according group objects. So I start with switching, which goes to switching, dimming relative to dimming relative, and then we have the state value. And the same applies for the BAOS. Here also switching to on off, relative to relative, and the state value to state value. And with that finished, we can now download these informations onto the devices. So I select both of them, click on download. Now that the download has finished, I can open up the web interface of the BAOS and log in with my credentials. And now you can see that within the living room we have lighting spots. And I can turn these lights on and off with these two buttons. Now if I turn it on, and here with this button I can dim the light down, and with the other button I can dim the light up. Now let us take a quick look back in the diagnostics here so that we can see what happens on the bus. So I start the monitor on the correct interface. So I open up the web interface and now we can see that the BAOS is sending its correct values here, and we also get the feedback information. And with that, you now saw how you can implement light dimming within the visualization of the BAOS 777.